So, have you figured out yet that the relationships, they're not here to give us this, with the Hollywood movies and love songs, tell us they're going to give us this. You ever seen Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere? She was a high-class prostitute, and he was this, lonely guy, and basically the dream came true, that which a lot of people who are trying to get prostitutes, and the prostitutes themselves, they have this fantasy. The prostitute thinks that she's going to meet a nice guy, and he's going to be rich, and he's going to see the beauty in me and take care of me and happily ever after. And the same with Richard Gere. He's like, somebody's finally going to notice I'm worthy, and I'm going to try to get that from a prostitute. And so this is what Hollywood does in love songs and other things. I can't live without you. Oh my God. I'm like, I can't, my life is nothing without you. Like, what am I going to do? Like, you left now, and now I'm nothing. So this message gets we get anointed with that growing up, especially the younger girls. The older people, girls and guys, I think you know better. But some still chase that. I remember I went to Hawaii with this girl. She was 50 and I was 20. We met at a 12-step meeting, and it was platonic. We enjoyed each other's company and whatever. So we went to Hawaii. You find out about things when you go on a trip with somebody. Yeah, I didn't want to go with her anywhere again after that, and probably same with me. It's all good. We were on the plane coming back home, and she was reading the text from the guy that, and she's giggling. Oh, I'm like, haven't you been through this countless times already? She's like, yeah, but it's just so good. She still gets that dopamine hit from that, So it's not necessarily that you get older and you stop playing the game of trying to find the love that's going to satisfy you and all that. Okay, so let's assume that something in you knows, because you've been in a couple relationships, that you see the potential for growth when you're in the relationships. This is what I want to focus on. I'm not saying that you'll never experience happiness or in a relationship. It's duality. You'll experience both, heaven and hell, usually. Why hell? Either you're with the wrong partner, or I want to focus on the or you're being stretched in ways that you wouldn't get stretched in otherwise. Your meditation practices is going to stretch you like this. Your friends aren't going to stretch you. Usually friends are diplomatic. We don't want to say nothing. Not me. Not me. But usually most people, if they're friends, they don't want to it's my friend, I don't want to rock the boat, I don't want to, but in a relationship, especially after you have sex, all that comes up. You start to reveal what you really think about this person and life in general, and they do the same, and then it's people die sometimes. So the relationships will dig underneath the nail, man, and pull out things that we're not looking at. You want to go to a therapist for 5 years, or just get into a relationship and have sex. That's fast track. But God prescribes those things when we're ready. You can't just go on Match.com and say, yeah, I want a relationship because I want to work on myself. I mean, you can. Anything can happen, but generally when we're ready, the universe prescribes a situation to us, and we just can't help it. You can't help it. You're just going to get in a relationship. And what I'm trying to say is, when that happens, or if it's already happening, be focused, be conscious. Be conscious of how this relationship is being used to purify your being, to bring everything up to the surface that you're not looking at. It wants to bring that up. Man, these waves are getting high, and so I'm starting to wonder if I can get back. Let's see what happens. Relationships are going to purify you on a level that if you're smart and you pay attention to that, you can look at it, and when you're conscious of something, when you're looking at it, then you have the ability to transcend it, and then you're free of that. And then guess what? You're going to attract a higher level partner after that, right? Law of attraction. It's like we're in these relationship school classes. We get a certain person, all right, and then we work through some stuff, and then if you're smart and you work through it, and when it ends, you don't hurry up and get into another one to mask your feelings. No, if you sit with it, reflect on what you learn, and integrate that, then you'll find the next partner you attract, they're going to be higher, and so on and so on. The more we work on ourselves and we get clean inside, the higher level frequency partner we're going to attract. That's the purpose of relationships. And yeah, we can enjoy, you can have your cake and eat it too sometimes. Like they're going to be, it's great. For me, it's the highest human experience. When you're with somebody and you have chemistry and you're just merging with each other, basically. It's the highest thing. It can also be the most hellish thing, but what to do. It's duality. Second highest thing's plant medicine. I like that. But higher than all these things, see, we got to touch on that, but you got to go to my spiritual channel, Spiritual Renaissance, because that's what I focus on. The highest thing is when we recognize our own source inside. This is the highest thing, and when that happens, everything else is grounded in that realization. So then attachment's not so heavy, breakup, detox isn't so heavy. It's not so heavy. You've recognized who you are inside. You recognize, like, okay, I'm like temporarily playing for a while on this plane and having major intense experiences, but yet it's not so real because life's always changing. Every experience passes, even the good ones. You got to apply it to both, the good and the negative ones. And it's okay because you've recognized something inside that's very nice, and it doesn't pass. And this is the highest purpose of a human life. And then you can enjoy these other things too, and you can suffer them. You can suffer them, but it's not a deep suffering. That's the difference. You're not going to want to kill somebody because your feelings got hurt. You see? All right. Did I touch on everything? So it's amazing how people still have this fantasy, though, that somehow the relationship's going to fix them and they're going to live happily ever after. I mean, do you just look around? The people that are in relationships, do they look super happy? Look at your movie stars and celebrities, or just anybody you know. Do they look happy? Some do. I'm not saying they're all bad, but I don't know. If you had a camera on them 24 hours a day, or are they going to look that way? There's some that their karma is super good in the relationship department. They meet and there's just a nice synergy and chemistry. It's true. But I see many couples and partners, they're like strangers to each other. They're staying together just for like financial, emotional survival, security. It's just, they're scared what's going to happen if they split up. I have a friend, I ask her how her roommate is. Means her husband, because it's clear they're living together. Like they're not, it's not a real sacred, sharing, intimate, union. That's for the most part, that's what it is. So that right there should debunk this fantasy in your mind that, like, oh, I'm gonna find the one. Everybody wants to find the one. There's not just one. There's many, though. Not many, but I've had the one like 3 or 4 times, 3.5 times. The half is because our relationship was platonic. But the other 3, total soulmates. And then some want to argue and say, well, but it wasn't your twin flame. Look, the mind makes all these concepts up, the twin flame and soulmate. Like, okay, what I'm saying is there's more than one person who you've like spent time together, previous lives, previous planes, because when you meet, the chemistry's just off the chart. There's more than one of them. What's the point? Forgot. That's a good example of heaven and hell, though. I mean, heaven is just so, and you're like, oh my God, like what, like, like I'm with me. She's like, yeah, I'm with me too. I'm like, damn. I remember we had that conversation once, and then you know what I told her? Because I like to, I like to do things complete. I said, do you recognize this is gonna pass though? This super affection, love we have for each other, like that, the intensity of that emotion we're feeling now, not only is it gonna pass, it's probably gonna turn into its opposite. She's like, oh, why you say that? I said, I'm just saying, you know? And later it did. And now, yeah, she wouldn't talk to me if her life depended on it. That's what happens when we get hurt. I think that's another subject though. When we get hurt, we want to blame the other person because the hurt's so deep. I've been on both sides of that, so I understand it. I'm gonna write that title down. I'm gonna do it now. All right, have a good day.